These are scary times for both music producers and DJs. Native Instruments, Isotope, Plugin Alliance, and Brainworks have just been sold to InMusic. InMusic owns Akai as well as too many brands to even name. After this, they will own over 20 audio companies. This video was cut and edited from a live stream of mine. If you want to tune in to the next one, make sure to turn on notifications, hit the like button, subscribe to, please. Welcome to another episode of WNN. AKA I'm still captive here. Please help me. Earlier this year, Native Instruments revealed that they were becoming preliminary insolvent. What does that mean exactly? It means shit's all fucked up. They were basically $300 million in debt. I think it has something to do with them buying companies. There was no way for them to recoup. They were basically just getting further and further in debt. Whenever private equity takes over companies like this, they run into the ground. And they originally had the name Soundwide. For some reason, they thought naming the company Soundwide was a good move. They realized that was a bad move. They basically decided to just name the entirety of it Native Instruments. They had to issue someone to take over and make financial decisions for them. 20 NPCs, but DAW can't get an update. When you have this many products and this many companies, there's genuinely no way to show the love to each of these products that's necessary. I don't know. I just don't see how this can end well. There's a lot of shit with these companies that needs fixing, that's needed fixing for years. They moved towards formal insolvency in March of this year. The CEO confirmed that they were looking for a buyer and that multiple parties were interested. One of the parties happened to be InMusic. Some of the companies they own include Akai, Moog, Rain, Newmark, M-Audio, and more. They own an insane amount of production and DJ companies. The list is too long to even say. So basically, just to let everyone know, nothing should break immediately, but it's definitely all on shaky ground. And you know what they say? Well, I don't know if this is a saying or anything, but like the more kids you have, the harder it is to properly raise them. I don't think that's a saying, but it's definitely fucking true. And this is basically their children. This is now their new adopted children. You think the machine is dead? I think a lot of these things are not going to be getting a lot of love. Updates might be slower, or upgrades may be costly and not provide a lot of value. That's my theory here. Let's read the actual note from the CEO. To our friends, artists, partners, collaborators, and community, after 3 months of hard work and 3 months of extraordinary loyalty from you, I am pleased to share that a definitive agreement has now been signed for Native Instruments to be acquired by InMusic, two iconic music technology companies with decades of shared respect for this industry and the people who make music in it are coming together to build something greater than either could alone. It's always the same thing here, man. It's always some vague shit, something that there doesn't really need to be any sort of accountability behind. Something to get people excited about it instead of worried. I think it's objectively valid for people to have concerns about this buyout. My concerns include this becoming a monopoly, this company stretching themselves thin with all these companies and products, as well as employees that are going to be laid off with this buyout. Quite often, the employees that are knowledgeable about these products or contributed to it are the ones that get cut out, such as Roger Lynn. This is what happens in acquisitions like this. Employees are laid off in order to keep costs down and to make the newly acquired companies more profitable. I know I'm always the most negative guy in the room here, but it's hard to deny that there's almost no way this is going to be a net positive for consumers. I definitely would be more skeptical than anything at this point. They got too many kids, man. What are the chances of all those kids being shown the proper parenting and love to like have a fulfilled life? Our NKS Hardware NPC Editions collaboration last year was the beginning of this story. Today we look ahead to a common future. That's an interesting thing to think about. What will be the collaborations here? There could be some interesting shit. It's definitely gonna be really expensive though. Imagine they start putting ozone inside NPCs, bro. Contacting NPCs too. I foresee a lot of bugs. I foresee a lot of bugs coming. InMusic has spent 3 decades building and growing the brands that creators rely on every day. Akai Professional Moog Music. It definitely seems structured in a way that AI would write it though too. It seems way too organized. And it also has M dashes. Yeah, no, this seems AI written to me too, or at least like having AI like reformatted or something. Okay, Akai Professional, Moog Music, Den and DJ, Newmark, Rain, M-Audio, and more. They can't even list all the companies, you know? It's that many. What happens next? We are working towards that transaction completing in the coming weeks. Bro, I can't tell you how many times they've said this. Between now and then, the business continues to operate normally, which I understand is something you would write when business continues as normal. At the same time, that's also the thing you would say if shit's all fucked up. I wouldn't completely just take this at face value. You know what I really want to see? I want to see an honest note like this written. I want to see the complete honesty here, talking about how they're 300 million in debt, how they're concerned about being laid off, how they're concerned about all the products being shown the proper support. I'd be worried about certain products being discontinued too. Maybe not in the immediate future, but down the line, because this is way too many products for one gigantic company to all control. Like the things that are making a ton of money, such as like tonal balance control, I would definitely be worried about buying that kind of shit personally, just because down the line, some of this shit could be discontinued, you know, or support can be discontinued. Jack O'Donnell, CEO of InMusic, put it, "Our commitment is simple: continued investment across all brands and product lines, and a long-term focus on innovation that serves creators at every level. The tools you rely on today will keep working, and the tools you will rely on tomorrow are actively being built." I don't know, man. I don't know. Let me see what this guy looks like. Let me see if we can trust this guy. Can we trust this guy? I don't know. Would you trust this guy? I don't know. This guy definitely loves himself a good drink, all right? Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that, all right? I have family that are alcoholics, all right? Okay, I'm not gonna say anything else, bro. I'm not gonna say anything else. This is the fresh start we've been working toward. The fresh start we've been working toward? So this is all in the plans here. We've been working toward this for years. We've been working towards getting $300 million in debt and then selling it to a company. Whatever, bro. Can't take that seriously. 30 years of building tools for creators, and now a new chapter with a strong partner who is partner? I mean, they own them. They own you, sir. I don't know if I call that a partnership. And now a new chapter with a strong partner who has spent just as long dedicated to this industry. Yeah, the only thing of concern is the overlaps in the music portfolios, especially competitors. Yeah, no, there's definitely competition within their own fucking giant branch of companies here. That's a little concerning. The loyalty you have shown us through one of the most challenging periods in Native Instruments history is something we will not forget. From the partners who supported us to the artists who kept creating to the customers who kept showing up, thank you so much. What Native Instruments had said at the time was that, you know, business as usual, which I guess was kind of true because they continued to release another version of RX. They did another thing that was really sketchy, which I haven't really talked about too much on the channel. So they released Tonal Balance Control 3, and they did something very strange with this. They basically gave it the features of another one of their plugins named Audio Lens, which was a free plugin. It allowed you to analyze audio, including the frequency balance, dynamics, loudness, and stereo image. And you could compare it with your own tracks, which isn't even something that's proven to work that well because every song is different, you know? They took the features of this, moved it into Tonal Balance Control 3, and then charged a very hefty price for it. A lot of people were not happy about it, and it really kind of signaled what they're doing as a company at this point, which is just trying to make as much money as possible, which is not really a problem if you're actually giving people value.
Hello, I like money.
And this is not the move of value. They're just taking one of their free plugins and then moving the features of it to a paid plugin of theirs and then charging like $100 for an upgrade. My point overall being, as a company, iZotope, Native Instruments, everything part of this giant ring here, they are providing very small upgrades and trying to charge as much as possible. And like I said, it's fine to charge a lot, but you got to add value. It's got to be worth the money. For instance, with RX, they only updated about 3 algorithms, and they're charging a few $100s for it. You know, it's basically like a low-level scam, in my opinion. iZotope as a company hasn't been doing too great, and Native Instruments is kind of doing the same thing too. They just released a new version of Complete, I believe, and they haven't really updated Contact very much, which is like the one thing people have been complaining about for the longest time. It is true that Contact was upgraded to version 8, but the core functionality, the user interface and experience are still shit. It feels like a plugin from 2001 still to this day. Machine is another thing that I see people constantly complaining about. So what does this mean? This means InMusic, they're the biggest audio company in the world right now, or audio, whatever the fuck you want to call it. They own a lot of shit. This is kind of a monopoly. They own all this, plus iZotope, Native Instruments, Plugin Alliance, and Brainworks, bro. This is wild. This is actually fucking crazy. Surely they won't raise prices and lower quality now that they have market dominance. This is true. A lot of these companies are D tier. I mean, some of these are kind of whatever, but they own a lot of production and DJ companies simultaneously. Some of these, though, I don't even know what the fuck they are. Sound Switch? How long has InMusic owned Akai? I feel like they've owned them for a very long time. I think they've kind of taken advantage of Akai. Okay, here's what I think sucks about Akai. The amount of NPCs they have released is insane. Like, super unnecessary. Now, there's certain ones I could justify existing, you know, the NPC Live, the NPC XL, and the NPC Sample. Everything else, though, bro, totally unnecessary. Totally unnecessary. Like, obviously, you want the big boy, the one that's like, you know, it's not portable, the one that's gonna stay in the studio, such as like the XL, the Sample, that's like an entry point, you know, it doesn't have a ton of features, but it's like pretty cheap. That makes sense to me. And then the Live, it's like kind of in the middle and it's portable. All the other NPCs, bro, so unnecessary, dude. So unnecessary. It's totally them taking advantage of the collectors. Obviously, people can do whatever they want with their money, but my point is that Akai is milking the fuck out of their customers. InMusic, aka Akai, fucked over the original creator of the MPC. Roger Lynn designed the original MPC 60 in the late 80s. He was the visionary who thought of it, while Akai handled manufacturing, sales, and financing. Later on, they made the MPC 2000 specifically without including him in order to cut him out of the design royalties that he was paid for the MPC 60. After this, Akai was bought by Newmark, which became a part of InMusic. Roger Lynn has stated that after this, they stopped paying him the royalties that he was owed for the MPC 60. They stopped taking his calls, and instead of sending him royalties, they started sending threatening letters. Roger Lynn didn't want to deal with the stress or cost of fighting this in court, so he just let it go. The point here is once the MPC became legendary, they cut him out. I mean, if you're wondering what kind of company they are, that's a fucking really shitty thing to do. So what should people be worried about or not worried about regarding this? I would personally be worried about support for your products, you know, plugins, getting updates, possible quality control. I don't know. I just really feel like there's no way for InMusic to like properly spread the love to all of these companies and all their products. Okay, guys, make sure to like button, subscribe if you're new here, and let me know your thoughts on this. Do you think this is a good thing? What are your concerns? I have quite a few, as I've stated in this video, and I'm curious to hear what you guys think. If you want to support the channel, the best way to do so are the affiliate links in the description. If you're planning on buying something, use those links. I get a cut at no extra cost to you. I have a Patreon as well, a second channel, and a new song. That'll all be linked down below. I'll see you guys next time.